The rifle cracked. Blood misted in the dawn light. 12 enemy combatants dropped in 13 minutes, while Fort Sentinel burned. The shooter, a recruit they'd locked in a bunker to destroy her career an hour earlier. Her name was Ava Rourke, and she'd let them mock her sabotage, her humiliate her because she'd been hunting something far more dangerous than their fragile egos. Before we reveal what happened that night, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and comment what city you're watching from, so I can see how far this story travels. You won't believe what comes next. The bus hadn't stopped moving when Cole Maddox spotted his target. "You'll check out Grandma's garage sale back there." Laughter rolled through the seats. Ava Rourke sat 3 rows up, staring out the window. Her gear looked like it survived 2 wars. Faded ruck-cracked boots, BDU pants sun-bleached to nothing. Ben Reyes, sitting next to Cole, kept his mouth shut. "I'm serious," Cole said louder. "Red Mesa Sniper School's supposed to be elite. She looks like she got lost on the way to a thrift store." Ava never turned around. The bus stopped. 60 recruits grabbed gear and hit the New Mexico heat. Ava moved last. No rush, no wasted motion. Cole circled like a shark. "Hey, Rourke." She stopped. Turned halfway. Face blank. "You sure you got the right bus? Library's 2 buildings over." More laughter. Ava looked at him for 3 seconds. Then kept walking. "Ice cold," someone muttered. Cole's jaw locked. He didn't like being ignored. "Formation, Sergeant Major." Trent Alvarado's voice cracked like a gunshot. 2 ranks now." Lena Park watched from the edge. She'd noticed Ava on the bus. How still she sat. How her breathing never changed even when Cole ran his mouth. Most people tensed when targeted. Ava didn't even blink. Alvarado walked the line boots, crunching gravel. When he reached Ava, he stopped. "Rourke." "Sergeant Major." "That all the gear you brought?" "Yes, Sergeant Major." His lip curled. "Looks like you raided a Goodwill." "It works, Sergeant Major." "We'll see." He moved on, but his eyes flicked to Cole for half a second. Lena caught it. So did Ben. First morning was weapons draw. Ava got an M24 that looked like it crawled out of a dumpster-scratched stock loose scope mount. Lena got a pristine rifle 2 stations over. "Christmas came early for some people," Cole said. "Somebody got the coal." Ava inspected the M24, fingers moving over bolt trigger scope rings. Didn't complain. Tightened the mount with a pocket tool, cycled the action twice, moved on. Lena walked over. "You need to say something. That assignment wasn't random." Ava glanced at her. "I know. So why?" "Because it doesn't matter. The rifle's fine." "It's not fine. The zero's probably Lena Park, right?" Ava's voice stayed soft. "Colorado State long-range record. Expert on every qual since basic." "You're good." Her eyes were steady. "Don't waste energy worrying about me." She walked away. Lana stood there confused as hell. That afternoon they hit the range. 200 yards, confirmed 05 rounds, 8 minutes. Ava drew station 12 full sun. No shade, no wind flag, heat shimmering off the berm. "Rourke, station 12, 8 minutes. Go." Cole leaned to Ben. "She's gonna stroke out in that sun." Ben didn't answer. He was watching Ava build position, no rush, no fumble. Like she'd done it 10,000 times. Her breathing changed, 7 in, 7 hold, 3 out. Ben counted without meaning to. It was hypnotic. First shot cracked. Ava cycled the bolt. breathed, fired again. No adjustment between rounds. By shot 3, Lena had stopped watching her own target and grabbed a spotting scope. Jesus Christ. 5 rounds, 1 ragged hole, maybe an inch across, at 200 yards, with a trash rifle, in full sun. Alvarado walked to Station 12, looked down range through binos. His face went hard. Acceptable. Next shooter. Lena's head snapped around. Sergeant Major, that group's. I said next shooter park. Cole fired his 5. 3-inch group. Ben went next, similar. Lena put all 5 in 2 inches and got a nod from Alvarado. Nobody mentioned what Ava just did. Nobody except the range cadre who stood behind Alvarado muttering to each other. That's not normal. That's not human. Break time. Ava sat alone on a bench, sipping from a canteen older than dirt. Cole huddled with his crew 20 feet away. She's showing off, Cole said. Or she's just better, Ben tried. Nobody's that good with a busted rifle. She's cheating somehow. Cheating what you saw the group. Cole's eyes narrowed. You defending her now? I'm just saying. You're just saying you need to remember who's got your back here. Cole stood. And it ain't some washed-up mystery girl. Ben shut his mouth. Hated himself for it. Day 2, movement drills. Ava's boots split during the 3rd low crawl. She duct-taped them at the water break and kept moving. Alvarado walked past, saw the tape, shook his head like watching something pathetic. Rourke, you need new boots. These work, Sergeant Major. They're falling apart. Yes, Sergeant Major. They still work. He stared. She stared back. No defiance, no challenge, just flat calm that made him angrier than if she'd mouthed off. Carry on. That night, barracks. Lena sat cleaning her rifle. Ava's bunk was 2 down gear arranged with obsessive precision. Every item had a place, even the duct tape on her boots, perfect overlapping strips. You prior service? Lena asked. Ava looked up from a notebook. Why, because you move like you've done this 1,000 times. Ava closed the notebook. I've done some shooting. Lena laughed sharp. Bullshit. Nobody gets that lucky. Ava's face softened a fraction. Everyone's proving something here, Lena. You're proving you belong at a level nobody thought you could reach. Ben's proving he's more than Cole's shadow. Cole's proving he's alpha, even though he knows deep down he's not. And you, small, sad smile. I'm proving people see what they expect to see. Before Lena could ask what that meant, the door banged open. Cole and 2 others walked in, loud, smelling like energy drinks. Study hall. Cole dropped on his bunk. Rourke, figure out how to tie your boots yet? Or you gonna duct tape your way through sniper school? Ava didn't look up. The tape works. The tape's embarrassing. You're embarrassing. He leaned forward. I think you're out of your depth. Too proud to quit. So you're just gonna limp along until someone does you a favor and washes you out. Ava met his eyes. You might be right. Silence. Cole blinked, thrown. Yeah. Glad you know it. Ava returned to her notebook. After lights out, Ben whispered across bunks. Ava, yeah. Why do you let him talk to you like that? Silence. Then, because he needs to. Needs to. He needs to feel big. Costs me nothing to let him. Her voice drifted soft in the dark. The quietest person in the room is often the most dangerous. Remember that. Ben stared at the ceiling. That's messed up. Maybe. Or maybe it keeps things simple. Next morning, stock training. Ghillie suits, low crawl, stay invisible, take the shot. Ava drew Sector 7, almost no cover, just scrub and hard pan. Cole got a sector with a dry wash and junipers. Rourke, Sector 7. 2 hours to close within 200 yards without being spotted. Observers got binos and radio. He sees you, you fail. Ava nodded. Moved out. Lena finished in 90 minutes. Clean stock. Cole barely finished in 2 hours after the observer caught him twice. Alvarado waved it off. Ava finished in 70 minutes. The observer radioed in voice confused. She's just... Here, 200 out prone scope on me. I never saw her move. Not once. Range cadre walked the route after. There's nothing out there. Flat ground. Where the hell did she hide? But Alvarado didn't congratulate her. Pulled her aside after debrief, spoke low, dismissed her. Ava walked back, face blank. That night, latrine. Cole gathered his crew. We need to handle this. Handle what? Someone asked. Her. She's making us look bad. Ben was there, leaning on the sink. Maybe she's just better. Cole spun. The hell you say? I said maybe she's better than us. She's not better. She's playing games. Cole's eyes glittered. Nobody shows up like that and dominates. Something's off. So what do you want to do? Cole smiled. Level the playing field. Ben's stomach dropped. Cole, don't. Don't what make it fair? He grinned. Relax. We're just making things interesting. Next day, long-range confirmation, 600 yards, wind gusting. Ava drew Station 9. While she was at the latrine, Cole slipped to her rifle case and swapped 3 rounds match ammo out mixed lot damaged ammo in. Different powder loads. Would throw her shots wild. Lena saw him do it. Cole? No. Stay out of it, Park. You're sabotaging. I'm leveling the field. If she's really good, 3 bad rounds won't matter, right? Lena's heart hammered. She should report it. Should grab an instructor right now. But Cole was walking away. The others were watching her. She was new. If she made waves, she said nothing. Ava returned. Loaded magazine. Took position. First shot high. Right, 8 inches off center. Ava's eyes narrowed. Cycled the bolt slow. Inspected brass. Sniffed it. Second shot, low left 6 inches. Ben watched through a scope 2 stations over. Saw her pause. Saw her eject the remaining rounds, line them up, examine each one. Her fingers felt for inconsistencies. She set 2 aside. Third shot, bullseye. She stopped. Looked at the 2 rounds. Then at the target, then at Cole 3 stations down, grinning. Ava's face never changed. She raised her hand. Sergeant Major? Alvarado walked over. Problem? Need 3 replacements. These are out of spec. She held up the cartridges. He took them, rolled them. Look fine. Brass is discolored. Powder load's off. They'll throw my group. Or your zero's off and you're making excuses. Sergeant Major, I shot 1 inch at 200 with this rifle. And now it's 600, different game. Adjust and shoot. Sergeant Major, adjust and shoot. 5 seconds of locked eyes. Then, yes, Sergeant Major. She loaded the 4th round. Breathed. 773. Fired. High right. 7 inches. 5th round. Low left. 8 inches. Final group 3 bullseyes, 2 wild shots. Barely passing. Alvarado marked her card. Inconsistent Rourke. Work on fundamentals. Silence. She cleaned brass-packed gear, walked off. Lena caught up near water. Ava, you saw him do it. Lena froze. What? You saw Cole swap my ammo. I can see it in your face. I didn't. Ava's voice stayed gentle. It's okay. It's not okay. I should have. And what would that have done? You'd make an enemy day 3. Cole denies it. Alvarado doesn't like me anyway. Nothing changes except now they target you too. So you just let him cheat you. Ava smiled, and something dangerous flickered behind the calm. I let him think he cheated me. There's a difference. I don't understand. You will. Ava shouldered her rifle. When someone shows you who they are, let them. You'll need that information later. She paused. Stay close to Ben. He's gonna need someone soon. Need someone for what? Ava was already walking away. That night, Ben sat on his bunk staring at his hands. He'd watched Ava get sabotaged. Watched her take it without complaint. Watched Cole laugh about it later like a victory. And he'd said nothing. Ava walked past toward showers. Ben stood. Hey. She stopped. I'm sorry. For what? For not saying anything. For letting him, Ben. Firm but kind. You didn't let him do anything. He made his choice. You'll make yours when it matters. When's that long look? Soon. Gone. Ben left standing with the feeling something much bigger than sniper school was moving in the dark. 2 days later, Alvarado called Ava to his office. She went alone. Came out 20 minutes later with New Order's Nightland Nav solo through terrain, including the old bunker complex on North Range. Lena grabbed Ben after formation. That route's a setup. How do you know? Heard Cole and 2 others this morning. They're planning something at the bunker. Ben's blood went cold. Planning what? I don't know, but they kept laughing about it. Ben found Ava that afternoon cleaning her rifle outside barracks. Don't go tonight. She looked up. Why not? Cole's planning something. The bunker, it's a trap. Slow nod. I know. You know. Then why? Because some traps need to be sprung, Ben. That makes no sense. She set down her cleaning rod. You ever wonder why Alvarado hates me? Why he gives me the worst gear, worst lanes, worst routes? Because he's an asshole. Because he's testing me, specifically, and someone's telling him to. Ben's mind raced. Who? Ava stood, shouldered ruck. Walk with me. They moved toward empty equipment sheds. Ava spoke quiet. 3 months ago, someone started selling graduate profiles from Red Mesa. Names, specialties, psych workups. That intel ends up with people who target our snipers overseas. How do you know? Because that's why I'm here. Ben stopped walking. You're not a recruit. I'm absolutely a recruit, just with a different mission. Who are you? She met his eyes. Someone who needed to get close to the source. The source is here, in this school, selling information that gets people killed. Alvarado. I think so. But I need proof. I need him confident enough to make a mistake. So you've been letting them humiliate you. So he thinks I'm weak. So he underestimates me. So when the moment comes, he's looking the wrong direction. Ben felt ground shifting. What moment? Ava checked her watch. Starts in 6 hours. Cole's crew locks me in that bunker tonight. Plants fake evidence I cheated on stalking. Think it'll get me expelled. And I'm gonna let them isolate themselves. Because if what I think happens actually happens, I don't want them near the real fight. What real fight? Ava looked north toward dark hills. The people buying those profiles, they're not collectors. They're operators. And if I'm right, they're testing Red Mesa's response tonight. Ben's mouth went dry. You think we're getting hit? I think someone sold them patrol schedules, armory codes, and a vulnerability window. That window opens tonight. Then we tell someone Ellison Ops Center. With what? A hunch they lock me up or kick me out. Either way, I'm off the board when it matters. Ava shouldered her pack. Need you to do something. What? Tonight, after Cole locks me in, stay with his group. Keep them in the armory building. Tell them you're standing watch, whatever. But keep them inside and away from the roofline. Why? Ava's smile went cold and professional. Because that's where I'll be. Oh shit moment. Ben's phone buzzed. Text from unknown number, check Alvarado's office. File cabinet, bottom drawer. Tonight. He looked at Ava. Did you just... She was already walking away. Ben waited until 2100. Slipped into Alvarado's office. Bottom drawer unlocked. Inside a burner phone and a handwritten ledger. Names. Graduation dates. Amounts paid. His hands shook as he photographed every page. The last entry was dated yesterday, Rourke A. Final eval pending. Buyer confirmed interest. $50K on delivery. Someone was selling Ava. And the buyer was coming tonight. Oh shit moment. Some 200 hours. Ava stepped onto the night course. Map compass moving toward the bunker. Cole and 3 others waited inside. Ben watched from 50 yards out, heart hammering. He should stop this. Should the bunker door opened? Ava walked in. Voices inside, shuffling. Then slam. Door locked. Cole's voice muffled. Have fun in there, Rourke. We left you some reading material. Cheat sheets from your stalking exam. Alvarado's gonna love finding those. Laughter. They walked away. Ben approached the bunker. Ava. Silence. Then from inside, calm as glass. Ben, do what I told you. Keep them in the armory. Ava, I know what you found. Now go. You've got 4 minutes before everything changes. 4 minutes until what? In the distance, a sound. Low. Rhythmic. Helicopters. Not theirs. Oh shit, moment 3. Ben sprinted to the armory. Cole and crew were inside, laughing, high-fiving. Yo, mission accomplished, Cole said. Rourke's boom! The north fence exploded. Alarms shrieked. Gunfire erupted. Radio traffic screamed, contact, 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 multiple hostiles, Sector 7, we are taking fire. Cole's face drained white. What the... Ben grabbed him. Stay here. Lock the doors. Don't move. Are you insane? You need to stay here. Ben shoved him back. Trust me. He ran outside. The bunker door was open. Ava was gone. Ben's phone buzzed. Text from that unknown number. Roofline. Admin building. Don't follow. Watch. Ben climbed the equipment shed, looked across compound. On the admin building roof, barely visible in darkness, a figure. Prone. Rifle setup, moving with surgical precision. Ava. She'd opened that bunker in minutes. Somehow got to the armory. Ben saw the arms room sergeant through binoculars standing there looking confused, holding a sign-out sheet. She'd signed out a .338 rifle. By memory. With codes that shouldn't exist. And now she was on that roof building a firing position, while Fort Sentinel burned, and nobody knew the little mocked recruit with taped boots was about to save them all. Ben watched through borrowed binos. Ava's first shot dropped an enemy sniper 800 yards out. Second and third MG team. Fourth someone giving orders. She shifted positions after every shot. Ghost fast. Invisible. Radio chatter shifted. Enemy sniper down, MG suppressed. They're falling back. Ava kept shooting. Methodical. breathing in that 7-7-3 rhythm. 7 in, 7 hold, 3 out. The rhythm of someone who'd done this in a war nobody here knew about. 12 shots, 12 stops, 13 minutes. The attack collapsed. Fort Sentinel lived. And Ava Rourke safed her weapon, logged her round count, and walked toward Colonel Ellison's office, dry, precise, unshaken. Like she'd just finished a training exercise. Ben stood on that equipment shed, hands shaking, watching her disappear into the building. His phone buzzed one last time. "You made the right choice tonight, Ben. Keep making it." In the armory, Cole and his crew huddled in the dark, alive, because a woman they'd tried to destroy had kept them away from a battle they'd never survive. In the hills beyond the fence, enemy bodies cooled, stopped by someone they never saw coming. And in Ellison's office, Ava Rourke placed a thumb drive on the desk and said 5 words that would burn Red Mesa to the ground. "Alvarado's been selling us out." The hunters had become the hunted, and the ghost they mocked had just saved their lives. But the real war, that was just beginning. Ellison's hand stopped halfway to the thumb drive. "Say that again." Ava stood at attention, rifle still slung across her back, cordite smell clinging to her like a second skin. "Sergeant Major Trent Alvarado has been selling graduate intelligence to hostile actors. Names, deployment schedules, psychological profiles. 17 confirmed KIAs in the last 8 months. All graduates from this school. All ambushed with precision that only comes from in-seat information." The colonel's jaw worked. Outside, emergency sirens wailed. Medics shouted coordinates. The base was chaos, but in this office, time crystallized around 5 words that would crack Red Mesa's foundation. "You have proof." Ava gestured to the drive. "Transaction logs, burner phone records, a ledger in his own handwriting, and one entry dated yesterday, my name, my profile, $50,000 on delivery." She paused. "The buyers came tonight to collect. They're cooling in the hills now." Ellison's eyes went to the window. Security lights swept the compound. "How many did you—" 12 confirmed stops. Enemy commander, sniper element, machine gun team, forward observers. Their C2 collapsed in 13 minutes. "With what weapon?" 338 Lapua, serial number LM4477. Signed out at 22:14 hours from Sergeant Yates at the arms room. Her voice never wavered. "Round count logged, weapon cleaned and returned. Brass policed." Ellison stared at her like seeing a ghost solidify into flesh. "Who the hell are you, Rourke?" "That's on the drive too, sir, along with my actual orders." She met his eyes. "I've been here 6 days. Alvarado's been selling secrets for 8 months. Do the math." The colonel grabbed the drive, plugged it into his desktop. Files bloomed across the screen. His face went white, then red, then stone. "Jesus Christ." "Sir, with respect, we're on a clock. Alvarado doesn't know the attack failed, doesn't know I'm here. Right now he thinks I'm locked in a bunker, and his buyers are executing the extraction. We've got maybe 20 minutes before he realizes something's wrong and runs." Ellison's hand went to his desk phone. Stopped. "If I bring him in now, we get him but lose the network. You're telling me there's more?" "I'm telling you Alvarado's a node, not the source. Someone upstream is feeding him graduate data before it even hits official channels. Someone with access to Psych Eval's deployment orders' personal histories." Ava's eyes were ice. Someone in the chain of command who decides which snipers go where. And when. The phone rang. Ellison grabbed it. "What?" a voice crackled through. Ava could hear it from where she stood. "Sir Sergeant Major Alvarado is requesting permission to access the North Bunker Complex. Says a recruit is trapped from the land nav exercise and needs immediate extraction." Ellison's eyes locked on Ava. She shook her head once. "Denied," the colonel said. "Tell him the area's still hot from the attack. No one enters Sector 7 until EOD clears it." "Copy, sir. He seemed pretty insistent. I don't care if he seems like his hair's on fire. No access. Understood?" "Yes, sir." Ellison hung up. "He's going to run." "Not if he thinks I'm still locked up and his buyers just hit a comms problem." Ava pulled a second burner phone from her pocket. This was on the enemy commander. Last outgoing message sent at 2021 hours. Package location confirmed. Initiating extraction. She set it on the desk. "I can send a reply. Make Alvarado think they're still in play, but delayed." "You want to bait him?" "I want to make him desperate enough to contact his handler. Right now he's careful, paranoid. But if he thinks his $50,000 payday is about to walk away, if he thinks he needs to coordinate a backup plan..." She let it hang. Ellison studied her. "You've done this before." "Sir, I've done a lot of things before." Ava's voice softened a fraction. "Most of them I can't talk about. But what I can tell you is this: you've got a cancer in your command structure. Cut out Alvarado and it goes into remission. But it'll come back. Or you dig to the root tonight and burn it all out." The colonel's finger tapped the desk. Outside, footsteps pounded past. Radio chatter crackled. A base that nearly died was finding its pulse again, and none of them knew the woman who saved it was standing 10 feet from command, covered in dust and secrets. "What do you need?" "Access to your network surveillance. Voice-activated recording in Alvarado's office and quarters. And 2 hours before you bring him in." Ava picked up the enemy phone. "I'll make him think his buyers want to meet to exchange payment and package. He'll panic. He'll call whoever's feeding him intel. And when he does, we'll have them both." Ellison stood, walked to his office door, locked it, came back and pulled a tablet from his desk drawer. "This system is off-book. Installed it myself after the first graduate died in circumstances that felt wrong. Couldn't prove anything, until now." He pulled up surveillance feeds. Alvarado's quarters, his office, even his truck. "You suspected him." "I suspected everyone." The colonel's voice went rough. 17 of my graduates are dead, Rourke. 17 kids I trained, certified, and sent into the world thinking they were prepared. And they died because someone in my house sold them like cattle. His hands shook. "So yeah, I bugged everything." Ava took the tablet. Her fingers moved across the screen, checking angles, audio quality, timestamp, sync. "This'll work, but I need insurance." "What kind?" "The kind where if this goes sideways, the evidence still gets out. If Alvarado's handler is who I think it is, they've got reach. Court-martials can disappear. Files can burn. I need a dead man switch." She looked up. "Someone outside the military structure who gets everything if we go dark." Ellison's jaw set. "I've got a brother. Retired JAG. Civilian now. Paranoid as hell and mean as a snake." "Perfect. Send him an encrypted package. Every file on that drive, every surveillance feed from tonight, and a simple instruction: if he doesn't hear from you within 72 hours, he sends it all to the Inspector General, the Senate Armed Services Committee, and the Washington Post. That's career suicide if it leaks early. It's justice if it doesn't." Ava's voice was quiet, steel. "Your call, Colonel." Ellison stared at the tablet, at the files, at the woman who'd appeared like smoke and fought like thunder. Then he pulled out his personal phone and started typing. "Done. Package sent." He looked at her. "Now what?" Ava composed a message on the enemy phone: "Package secure. Comms disrupted by response force. Need alternative exfil. Coordinates to follow. Confirm payment authorization." She showed it to Ellison. He nodded. She hit send. Now we wait for Alvarado to panic. They didn't wait long. 4 minutes later, the tablet lit up. Alvarado's quarters. He was on his personal cell pacing. "It's me. We've got a problem." Ellison turned up the volume. Ava leaned in, every nerve focused. The voice on the other end was distorted, scrambled, but the tone was clear, controlled, cold, annoyed. "Define problem." "The hit went wrong. My guys are saying comms disrupted need Alt-exfil, but I'm hearing rumors the attack got repelled. Fast. Too fast." "By whom?" "I don't know. Security's locked down tight. But someone dropped their assault element in under 15 minutes. Precision work. Sniper work." Alvarado's voice cracked. "What if the package? What if Rourke wasn't where I thought?" Silence on the line. "Then, where is she now?" "Should be locked in the north bunker. I had students handle it. Guaranteed containment until I could coordinate pickup." "Should be. You don't know for certain." "I can't access Sector 7. Ellison locked it down pending EOD clearance, but the students confirmed. The students are children playing games, Trent, and you're telling me a Tier 1 operator might be loose on a base that just repelled an assault with surgical precision." The voice sharpened. "Do you understand how that sounds?" Ava's breath stopped. Tier 1. They knew. Ellison's eyes went wide. Alvarado was sweating, now visible even through the grainy feed. "What do you want me to do?" "Confirm the package location. Personally, I don't care what Ellison said. If she's loose, if she engaged those operators, if she has any evidence." The voice turned to ice. "You're not just exposed, Trent. We both are, and I don't get exposed." "I'll check the bunker. No, you'll sit tight. I'm activating the contingency." Alvarado froze. "The contingency? That's extreme. We don't even know. We know enough. If Rourke engaged, she's not a failed recruit. She's an asset running an op. Which means she's been playing you for 6 days. Which means everything she's seen, everyone she's talked to, every piece of evidence she's gathered is about to land on Ellison's desk, if it hasn't already. So what's the contingency? At 0300 hours, there will be a secondary incident. Armory fire, electrical malfunction, very tragic. Claims 3 lives, you, Ellison and Rourke. Destroys any physical evidence. By the time investigators sort through the ashes, the data trail will be sanitized, and I'll be 3 continents away." Alvarado's voice went hollow. "You're going to kill me." "I'm going to tie up loose ends. You knew the stakes when you took the money, Trent. Act surprised now, and it's just insulting." A pause. "You've got 90 minutes to decide, run, and spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, or stay and die a hero trying to stop an armory fire. Either way, you're done at Red Mesa." The line went dead. Alvarado stood there, phone in shaking hand, staring at nothing. Ellison's face was carved granite. 90 minutes. 62 now, Ava said, checking her watch. Takes 28 minutes to rig an armory fire that looks accidental, if you know what you're doing. Whoever this is, they've got resources, people on base, access to infrastructure. The voice was scrambled. Could be anyone. Not anyone. Someone with authority to activate a contingency. Someone who knew I was Tier 1 before I showed it. Someone who can sanitize data trails and ghost internationally. Ava's mind raced. How many people on this base have that capability profile? Ellison pulled up a roster. Command Level 5 names. Me, the XO, the Operations Officer, the Intel Chief, and... He stopped. And the Schoolhouse Commander. Colonel Grant Vance. He oversees all training across the sniper program. Access to every graduate file. Every psych eval. Every deployment order before it goes official. Ellison's voice dropped. He's also former Special Activities, CIA, has contacts in 30 countries. Ava felt puzzle pieces click. Vance isn't here, is he? Deployed, conference in Stuttgart, left 3 days ago. Convenient timing, right before a major attack on his own facility. She looked at the tablet. Can you pull his travel records, real ones, not the official itinerary? Ellison's fingers flew. Working on it. But if Vance is the handler, we've got a bigger problem. He's got friends in very dark places. The kind who make evidence disappear. The kind who make people disappear. Then we don't give him time. Ava stood. We've got one shot. Alvarado's about to run or die. Either way, we lose our link to Vance. But if we can flip him, he sold out 17 of our people. And he's about to be number 18 unless he cooperates. Fear's a hell of a motivator, Colonel. Ava grabbed the tablet. I need to get to him before the contingency activates. Make him think I'm his only way out. Offer him witness protection in exchange for everything on Vance. The contingency activates in 58 minutes. Even if you flip him, how do we stop an armory fire we can't predict? Ava's smile was cold. We don't stop it. We fake it. Ellison blinked. What? Vance expects 3 bodies and an evidence burn. We give him that. Stage the scene. Fake our deaths. Let him think he won. She was already moving to the door. He runs, gets comfortable, makes a mistake. We track him, build an airtight case, take him down when he's not looking. But we need Alvarado's testimony to make it stick. You're talking about faking a colonel's death. My death. That's the only way to smoke out someone with Vance's resources. If he knows we're alive, he activates contingency 234. We'll be chasing ghosts until one of them puts us in the ground for real. Ava unlocked the door. Trust me, sir. I've died before. It's easier than you think. Before Ellison could respond, his desk phone rang again. He grabbed it. What now? Sir, you asked to be notified of any unusual activity. We've got Sergeant Major Alvarado accessing the armory. Master key override. Says he needs to conduct an emergency inventory after the attack. Ellison's eyes met Ava's. When? 2 minutes ago, sir. He's inside now. Ava was already running. She hit the compound at a sprint rifle bouncing against her back. The armory was 200 yards across the main parade ground. Floodlights carved shadows. Security patrols were doubled after the attack, but they were focused outward, watching the perimeter. No one stopped a recruit running toward the armory. Ava slowed as she approached. Checked angles. The main door was locked, lights off inside. But there, a side access cracked open. Fresh boot prints in the dust. She drew her sidearm. Moved through the door, silent as smoke. Inside the armory was rows of weapon racks, ammunition storage equipment cages. Emergency lights cast everything in red. And at the far end, near the electrical panel, Alvarado knelt with a toolbox, hands shaking as he worked. Ava's voice cut through the dark. 60-minute electrical fire. Classic. Frayed wires, accelerant-soaked rags stuffed in the junction box, timed fuse. It'll look like overload from the alert status. Smart. Alvarado spun hand diving for his holster. Don't. Ava's Beretta was already leveled. I'm a better shot than you. We both know it. He froze. Stared. His face cycled through confusion, recognition, horror. You're supposed to be locked in a bunker. I was. Got out. Turns out I'm good at that. She stepped closer. Also good at stopping 12 hostiles who came to collect me like a package. They're dead. You're exposed. And Colonel Vance just told you he's burning you in. She checked her watch. 53 minutes. Alvarado's gun hand dropped. You heard? Every word. Ellison's got surveillance everywhere. Your quarters, your office, your truck. We know everything, Trent. The sales, the ledger, the kills, 17 graduates, 17 families who'll never know their kids died because of you. His face crumpled. I never thought, you never thought what that selling intelligence would get people killed. That's exactly what you thought. That's what you wanted. $50,000 a name. That's the math. Own it. Vance said it was low-level intel, training performance, capability assessments. He said it was going to allies for what inter-service cooperation? Ava's laugh was bitter. You're not that stupid, Trent. Don't insult me by pretending you are. He sagged against the equipment rack. What do you want? I want you to tell me everything. Every sale, every contact, every piece of information Vance has on his network, and I want you to testify. He'll kill me. You heard him. The contingency dies if you help us fake it. Ellison Yumi 3 bodies in an armory fire. Vance thinks he's won. He runs. We track him. Take him down when he's exposed. Ava lowered the gun slightly. Or you say, no, I put you in a cell, Vance activates Plan B, and you die anyway. Pick one. Alvarado's hands shook. If I testify, witness protection. If your intel puts Vance away, I'll personally walk you into WITSEC and hand you a new name. But you give me everything. No holding back. No half-truths. Silence. Just the hum of emergency lights and the distant sound of the bass finding its rhythm again. Vance has a safe house, Alvarado said finally. Prague, under a corporate cover, Arms Consulting. He runs the network from there when he's not stateside. Keep going. There are others, not just me. 3 other schools feeding him intel. Different branches. Ranger School Seer Marine Scout Sniper. He's got handlers at each one. I only know the Red Mesa piece. Ava's blood went cold. How many graduates total? I don't know. He compartmentalizes. But if it's the same ratio, Alvarado's voice broke. Could be 50. Could be more. Names. I need the other handlers' names. I don't have them. Vance kept us separated. I only know they exist because he mentioned quotas once. Said Red Mesa was underperforming compared to the others. Ava's jaw set. 50 dead soldiers. Maybe more. All because of a network selling American lives like stocks. How does he move the money? Cryptocurrency, laundered through shell companies in the Caymans, Singapore, Zurich. He's got a banker, name's Kozlov, Russian expat, handles all the transactions. Kozlov have a location. Changes every 3 months. Last I heard, Dubai. But that was 6 weeks ago. Ava memorized every word. What's Vance's next move after the contingency? He ghosts, activates a legend false identity papers accounts. He's got 3 I know of. Could be more. Once he's under, even the agency won't find him. The agency trained him. They'll know his patterns. Alvarado laughed sharp and ugly. You think the agency wants him found? Half of Vance's network probably funds black ops they can't put on the books. He's useful. They'll give him a quiet retirement and a blind eye as long as he doesn't make waves. Then we make waves big enough they can't ignore. Ava raised her weapon again. Last question. Why'd you do it? He met her eyes. Money. That's simple. That's stupid. I had debts, bad investments. Thought I'd do one deal, clear the red, walk away clean. His laugh was broken. But Vance doesn't let you walk away. 1 deal becomes 2, 2 becomes 10, and then you're 17 bodies deep and you can't remember what clean even feels like. Ava stared at him. Saw not a monster but a man who'd made a choice and drowned in the consequences. It didn't make her hate him less, but it made her understand. Drop the tools. Step away from the panel. He obeyed. Now we go see Ellison. You tell him everything you just told me, and then you help us stage the most convincing death scene of your life. And if Vance figures out it's fake, then we're all actually dead and it won't matter. Ava gestured with the gun. Move! They walked back across the compound. Security had doubled again, but they recognized Alvarado. Didn't question. Ava stayed 2 steps behind, weapon concealed, ready. Ellison was waiting in his office, face grim. We've got a problem. Ava pushed Alvarado into a chair. What kind? Vance isn't in Stuttgart. Travel records show he left Germany 8 hours ago. Private flight. Destination unknown. But his credit card just pinged at a hotel in El Paso. Ava's mind raced. El Paso. 2 hours from Fort Sentinel. He's here. He's going to oversee the contingency personally. Or he's already on base, Ellison said. Command override gets him through any gate. He could be anywhere. Alvarado's face went white. If he's here, if he sees me, he won't, because you're about to have a very tragic accident. Ava turned to Ellison. We need to accelerate. Stage the fire now. Fake the bodies. Get Vance to commit before he realizes we're onto him. How do we fake 3 bodies in 42 minutes? We don't fake them. We borrow them. Ava's voice was ice. The enemy assault element. 12 bodies cooling in the hills. We bring 3 and stage them in the armory, burn it fast and hot. Dental records will take days to disprove. By then, we'll have Vance. Ellison stared. That's war, Colonel. And Vance brought it here. She looked at Alvarado. You're going to help us load those bodies. Consider it penance. His face went gray, but he nodded. Ben, Ava said. I need Ben Reyes here. Now. Ellison reached for the phone. Why Reyes? Because he already knows something's wrong. Because he found your ledger evidence and didn't run his mouth. Because when this goes sideways, and it will, I need someone on the inside I can trust. She met the Colonel's eyes. And because he deserves to see this through. Those 17 dead graduates, one of them was his brother. The room went silent. Ben Reyes's brother was Michael Reyes, Ava said quietly. Marine Scout sniper. Graduated Red Mesa 3 years ago. KIA in Syria 7 months back. Ambushed at a position only his command should have known about. She paused. Ben's been looking for answers since the funeral. Now he's about to get them. Ellison's hand shook as he dialed. Get me Recruit Reyes, now. My office. Emergency orders. 5 minutes later, Ben walked in. Saw Ava. Saw Alvarado in the chair, face wrecked. Saw Ellison's expression. What's happening? Your brother didn't die because of bad luck, Ava said. He died because someone here sold his position. Sold him. For money. Ben's eyes went to Alvarado. You. Not just him. There's a network. Your brother was one of 17, maybe 50 across all schools. Ava's voice gentled. I'm sorry, Ben, but we're about to burn it down, and I need your help. His hands clenched. What do you need? I need you to trust me for the next 2 hours. Can you do that? Ben looked at Alvarado, at the man who'd sold his brother's life. Every muscle in his body screamed for violence. But he looked at Ava, at the woman who'd let herself be mocked, sabotaged, humiliated all to get to this moment. Tell me what to do. Ava smiled. Small, sad, proud. Help us fake our deaths, then help us kill a ghost. Outside, the clock ticked toward 0300. And in a hotel room in El Paso, Colonel Grant Vance checked his watch, made one final encrypted call, and started the 90-minute drive to Fort Sentinel, to watch his contingency burn, to make sure 3 bodies stayed dead. He had no idea the bodies waiting for him were the wrong ones, and the people he thought he'd killed were already hunting him. Ben stood in the back of the tactical truck staring at 3 body bags laid out like accusations. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. "These are the ones who came for her," Ellison said quietly. "The ones who were going to extract Ava and disappear her. Forever." "And now they're us," Ben said. His voice sounded hollow even to himself. "Now they're us," Ava confirmed. She was checking the bodies' sizes, matching them against herself. Ellison Alvarado. Close enough. In a hot fire, dental records would be the only identifier, and those would take 72 hours minimum to process. "We've got 31 minutes. Let's move." They hauled the bodies into the armory through the side entrance. No witnesses. Security was still focused on perimeter after the attack, and Ellison had pulled the interior patrols with a story about potential secondary devices. The compound was a ghost town in the pre-dawn dark. Alvarado worked the accelerant with shaking hands, painting patterns that would look like electrical malfunction spreading to fuel storage. His face was the color of old paste. "Make it convincing," Ava said. "Vance has seen 1,000 fires. He'll read the burn patterns like a book." "I know what I'm doing." "You'd better, because if he suspects for 1 second this is staged, he'll activate contingency 2, and we'll be dealing with real bodies, ours." Ben was positioning the bags near the electrical panel, trying not to think about what he was touching, trying not to think about his brother Michael sold and ambushed and dead in the Syrian sand because someone in this room had taken money. "Ben," Ava's voice cut through his spiral. "I need you here. Present. Can you do that?" He looked at her, at the woman who'd saved the base while they'd tried to destroy her. "How do you do it? Stay calm when everything's burning." "I don't stay calm. I just move the panic to later." She handed him a timer. "This triggers the primary accelerant in 18 minutes. Secondary follows 3 minutes after. We'll be long gone. But the sequence has to be perfect, or the investigators will know it was arson." "What about our personal effects? Our gear Vance will expect to find something." Ellison pulled 3 duffel bags from a storage locker. "Already handled. Dog tags personal items enough to make identification plausible before the dental records come back false." He looked at each of them. "Last chance to back out. Once this fire starts, we're ghosts. No contact with family, friends, anyone. We're legally dead until we take Vance down." "My mom's in Ohio," Alvarado said. "Heart condition. If she hears I'm dead, she'll grieve," Ellison said flatly. "And then she'll get notification it was a mistake when this is over. Or she'll bury you for real if you don't help us finish this." His eyes were flint. "Those are your options. Pick." Alvarado's throat worked. "How long until we can surface? However long it takes to put Vance in a cell." Ava set the last charge. "Could be days, could be months. Depends on how clean his escape protocol is. He's got resources, safe houses, legends that could hold for years. Then we'd better be smarter than his legends." She checked her watch. 15 minutes. Everyone out. Ben, you're with me. Ooh. Ellison, take Alvarado to the safe house." "What safe house?" Ben asked. "The one I set up 3 days ago when I knew this was coming." Ava moved toward the exit. "Old maintenance bunker on the South Range, abandoned since the 90s. No one knows it exists except us. Stocked with supplies, comms equipment, everything we need to run the operation." They slipped out into darkness. Split up. Ben followed Ava across the compound, moving through shadows like she'd mapped every blind spot weeks ago, which she probably had. "How long have you known?" he asked. "About all of this. Since before I got on that bus. The operation was already running. I just needed to get inside, get close enough to Alvarado to force a mistake." She paused at a corner, checked angles. "You finding that ledger accelerated the timeline. Saved us weeks." "I didn't know what it meant." "Not really. You knew enough to photograph it, to keep quiet, to trust your instinct that something was wrong. She looked at him. That's courage, Ben. The kind that matters. They reached a nondescript cinder block building at the edge of the range, looked like every other forgotten structure on base. Ava pulled a key from her pocket, where had she even gotten that, and unlocked a door that shouldn't have opened. Inside was a fully operational command center. Laptop, satellite uplink, weapons rack supplies for a week minimum. Ben stared. When did you, piece by piece, middle of the night, supply runs disguised as training gear. It's amazing what you can move when people think you're just the quiet girl with the taped boots. Ava powered up the computers. Ellison and Alvarado should be here in 4 minutes. Then we wait for the fireworks. Ben sat heavily on a crate. My brother, Michael. You said he was one of 17. Yeah. Tell me what happened to him. Ava's hands stilled on the keyboard. You sure you want to know? I've spent 7 months wondering. I need to know. She turned to face him. Michael was sold 3 weeks before his deployment. Full profile. Strengths, weaknesses, psychological triggers. The insurgents who ambushed him knew he'd try to protect his spotter first. Knew he'd sacrifice position to save his partner. They used it against him. Her voice was quiet. He died buying time for his team to escape. 4 men lived because of him. Ben's eyes burned. He always did that. Put everyone else first. The report said equipment failure. Said his scope mount failed and he couldn't return effective fire. That was a lie. That was a cover. The mount was sabotaged before deployment. Someone on his logistics chain probably paid by the same network. They wanted it to look like accident, not assassination. Ava's jaw set. Michael died because Vance sold him, and because someone in the supply line made sure he'd die even if the ambush failed. Who? We don't know yet. That's part of what we're burning down, the whole chain, every link, from Vance at the top to every handler, every logistics accomplice, every financial middleman. She met his eyes. Your brother was a good man, Ben. He deserves justice. They all do. Before Ben could respond, the door opened. Ellison and Alvarado entered, both looking like they'd aged a decade. Secure, Ellison said. No tails. No one saw us. Ava checked the monitors. Fire sequence initiates in 9 minutes. Vance's ETA is 43 minutes based on El Paso traffic. He'll arrive right as the emergency response is peaking. Chaos is cover. What's our play when he shows? Ben asked. We watch, we listen, we record every word, every reaction, every tell that he thinks he's won. Ava pulled up surveillance feeds she'd somehow tapped into base security cameras. If he stays in character, plays the shocked senior officer, we've got nothing concrete. But if he slips, if he confirms knowledge he shouldn't have, if he contacts someone in the network. We've got him, Ellison finished. Alvarado sat in the corner, head in hands. He'll know. Vance always knows when something's wrong. It's like a sixth sense. Then we make sure nothing looks wrong. The fire happens on schedule. 3 bodies are found. Initial reports confirm the identities we planted. Ava typed rapidly. I've got access to the emergency services dispatch. I can feed them information in real time, make sure the right details get reported. Ben watched her work. You've done this before. This exact scenario. Similar enough. Baghdad, 2019. Needed to fake the death of an asset to draw out a cell leader. Worked perfectly until the asset decided to actually run, and we had to hunt him down separately. She smiled without humor. Learned to tie up loose ends better after that. I'm not running, Alvarado said. Where would I even go? Nowhere that matters. Vance has global reach. You run, you're dead within a month. Ellison's voice was cold. Your only play is through. Help us catch him, testify, disappear into WITSEC. Anything else is suicide. The computers beeped. 6 minutes to ignition. Ava pulled up a tactical map of the base. Ben, I need you to be our eyes on the ground. When Vance arrives, you'll be in the crowd. Another shocked recruit, watching the fire, grieving the losses. But really, you're watching him. What am I looking for? Anything off. A smile he suppresses. A phone call he takes away from others. Someone he acknowledges who shouldn't be there. She handed him an earpiece. You'll be wired. We'll hear everything you hear. He's met me, at the initial formation. He'll recognize he's met 200 recruits in the last month. You're just another face. And right now you're a face that's supposed to be devastated because your instructors just died. Ava's eyes were steady. Can you sell that? Ben thought of Michael, of 17 dead graduates, of 50 more maybe. Yeah, I can sell it. Ellison stood. I've got a burner phone tied to a persona Vance doesn't know. If he tries to contact the network, tries to confirm the kills, I can intercept and respond. Keep him confident. What about me? Alvarado asked. Everyone looked at him. The man who'd sold lives for money. The man who'd wrecked families for $50,000 a name. You, Ava said, get to sit here and think about what you've done. And if Vance somehow figures out we're alive, you're our insurance policy. The testimony that puts him away even if we don't make it out. 3 minutes. Ava's fingers flew across the keyboard, setting up recording protocols, backup data streams, fail-safes within fail-safes. Everything we capture gets uploaded in real time to 3 separate encrypted servers. Even if this bunker gets hit, the evidence survives. Who has access to the servers? Ben asked. People who'll use it right. DOJ contacts, I trust. A journalist who specializes in military corruption. And one very paranoid senator who's been trying to nail Black Ops overreach for a decade. She looked up. Vance can't kill all of them, can't suppress all the channels. Something will get through. 90 seconds. Ben strapped on the earpiece, checked the concealed mic. How do I get back out there without being questioned? Say you couldn't sleep after the attack, went for a walk, heard the explosion. Ellison handed him an ID. This gets you through any checkpoint. It's coded as trauma response recruits are encouraged to move around process talk to chaplains. No one will stop you. 60 seconds. Ava stood, looked at each of them. Last thing, if this goes wrong, if Vance makes us and activates a kill team, if we're about to be taken. We don't get taken, Ellison said. We don't get taken, she agreed. Better to die for real than let him win. Everyone clear. Nods all around. Even Alvarado, pale and shaking, nodded. 30 seconds. Vance thinks he's cleaning up a mess tonight. Thinks he's burning evidence and walking away clean. Ava's voice was quiet steel. Instead, he's about to walk into a trap 17 dead soldiers set for him. We're just springing it. 15 seconds. Ben moved to the door, looked back at Ava. When this is done, when Vance is in a cell and the network's burned, what happens to you? She smiled. I disappear again. It's what I'm good at. That's not an answer. It's the only one I've got. 5 seconds. The timer hit 0. 3 miles away, in the Fort Sentinel armory accelerant met spark. Fire bloomed, hungry and hot, spreading exactly as designed. The electrical panel exploded. Secondary charges followed. Within 90 seconds, the building was an inferno. Alarms shrieked across the base. Emergency response vehicles roared to life. Personnel scrambled. Radios crackled with coordinated chaos. And in a bunker at the South Range, 4 ghosts watched it burn on a dozen monitors. It's done, Ellison said. It started, Ava corrected. Ben, go. Get into position. Vance will be here in 32 minutes. Ben slipped out into the night. The sky to the north glowed orange. Smoke billowed. He could smell it even from here, acrid and chemical. He forced himself to run toward it, playing the part. The concerned recruit, the shocked witness. By the time he reached the main compound, a crowd had formed. Recruits in PT gear, instructors in various states of dress, security personnel establishing perimeters. The armory was fully engulfed. Fire teams were pouring water and foam, but it was already too late. The building was gone. Ben pushed into the crowd, found Lena Park standing there, face shocked. "Did you hear?" she said. "They're saying people were inside." Ellison, Alvarado, Rourke. Ben let his face crumple. "No, God, no. They were doing inventory after the attack. The fire just—" Her voice broke. "Ben, Ava saved us. She stopped those attackers. And now she's— I know." He pulled her into a hug, partly for show, partly because he needed to ground himself in the lie. "I know." Around them, people were crying. Cole Maddox stood at the edge of the crowd, face white. The man who'd tormented Ava, locked her in a bunker, sabotaged her, watching the building burn, thinking she'd died, trying to save the base. "This is wrong," Cole said to no one. "This is all wrong." In Ben's ear, Ava's voice crackled. "Vance just passed the main gate. Black SUV. 2 vehicles behind him, likely security. He's 3 minutes out." Ben scanned the crowd, positioned himself where he'd have clear sight lines when Vance arrived. "I'm in position." "Good. Remember, you're devastated. You just lost your instructors. Your emotional state gives you permission to be anywhere, talk to anyone. Use it." The SUV rolled up. Vance stepped out, every inch the concerned senior officer. Salt and pepper hair, crisp even at 0330 uniform, pressed like he'd just put it on, which he probably had. He strode toward the fire chief. "What happened?" "Sir, electrical malfunction, we think. Spread to accelerant storage. Building was fully involved in under 3 minutes." "Casualties?" The fire chief's face was grim. 3 confirmed inside. Colonel Ellison, Sergeant Major Alvarado, and Recruit Rourke. They were conducting post-attack inventory, trapped when the fire spread. Vance's face showed perfect shock, perfect grief. "Dear God, Ellison, are we certain?" "Sir, we've found remains consistent with 3 individuals. Positive identification pending, but their vehicles are in the lot. Their duty logs show they were inside, and—" The chief's voice cracked. "Sir, no one could have survived that." Vance put a hand on the chief's shoulder. "You did everything you could. Focus on containment now. We'll grieve later." Ben watched him. Watched the performance. The micro-expressions that didn't quite match the words. The eyes that scanned the crowd, not with sorrow, but assessment. In his ear, he's reading the room, looking for problems. "Stay passive, Ben." Vance moved through the crowd, offering condolences, asking questions. When he reached Cole's group, he stopped. "You're the senior recruit squad now." Cole could barely speak. "Yes, sir." "Did any of you see anything, hear anything before the fire started?" "No, sir. We were in the barracks, just heard the alarms." Vance's eyes narrowed slightly. "All of you?" "Yes, sir." "And Rourke, she was with Ellison and Alvarado. Why?" Cole's face twisted with guilt. Some of us, we didn't treat her right, sir. She was doing extra duty, trying to prove herself. The sergeant major must have had her helping with inventory." "I see." Vance's voice was neutral, but Ben saw it. The flash of calculation behind the grief mask. "Tragic. From what I heard, she performed remarkably during the attack tonight. Saved lives." "She did, sir," Lena said. She was better than all of us." Vance nodded slowly. "Then we'll make sure her sacrifice is remembered." He moved on. In Ben's ear, Ava's voice was tight. He's fishing, trying to confirm we're really dead. He doesn't fully believe it yet. Ben watched Vance circle back to his SUV, pull out a phone, step away from the crowd into the shadow between two buildings. "He's making a call," Ben whispered. "Can't hear it from here?" "Moving to intercept?" Ellison's voice crackled. "I've got a parabolic mic aimed at his position from the water tower. Stand by." Seconds ticked by. Ben kept his face grief-stricken, his posture that of a man in shock. Inside, his heart hammered. Then, Ellison's voice relaying what Vance was saying. "It's done. 3 confirmed. Fire's still burning, but the bodies are in place. Scene's convincing." A pause. Someone responding on Vance's end. No suspicion. Everyone thinks it's electrical malfunction. Tragic accident after a tragic attack. Perfect storm." Another pause. "Rourke performed during the assault that's confirmed. Makes sense she'd be helping with post-action procedures. Story holds." Longer pause. "I'll personally oversee the investigation. Make sure the findings are clean. Dental records will come back confirming IDs. By then I'll be in Prague, and the trail will be ice cold." Vance's voice dropped. Alvarado was a liability that solved itself. Ellison was getting too curious. And Rourke, a cold chuckle. Whoever sent her, they just lost their best asset to bad timing and a faulty wire. Poetic. In the bunker, Ava's face was carved stone. "Got him." Vance was still talking. "Activate the secondary cleanup. I want anyone who had contact with Alvarado in the last month interviewed and cleared. If there's any evidence trail, any loose ends, I want them tied off." Pause. "Yes, that includes the students who pranked Rourke. Find out what they know. If it's nothing, fine. If it's something, handle it quietly." Ben's blood froze. Vance was going to clean up witnesses, starting with Cole's crew, maybe including him. "Ben, extract now." Ava's voice was urgent. "Get back here. You're burned if he starts looking close." But Ben couldn't move. Because Vance was walking toward the crowd again, and his eyes locked on Ben with sudden terrible focus. "You, recruit. What's your name?" Ben's throat closed. "Reyes, sir. Ben Reyes." "Reyes." Vance's head tilted slightly. "Any relation to Michael Reyes, Marine Scout sniper, graduated 3 years ago?" Every instinct screamed danger. "Yes, sir. He was my brother." I'm sorry for your loss." "How did he die?" "Syria, sir. 7 months ago. Ambush." Vance's expression was sympathy itself, but his eyes were calculating, measuring, weighing. "And now you're here following in his footsteps. That's admirable." A pause. "Did you know Recruit Rourke well?" "Not really, sir. Just from training." "But you were in the same recruit class? Same barracks?" "Yes, sir." "Did she ever talk about why she was here, what brought her to sniper school?" Ben's mind raced. One wrong word, and Vance would know something was off. "No, sir. She kept to herself. Didn't talk much." "I see." Vance's hand rested on Ben's shoulder. The grip was friendly. The pressure was a threat. "If you remember anything she said, anything unusual about her, you'll report it to me directly. Understood?" "Yes, sir." "Good man." Vance released him, moved on. In Ben's ear, Ava's voice was ice. "He's suspicious. He's going to dig. We need to move the timeline up." Ben waited until Vance was occupied with the fire chief again, then slipped away. Made his way through the chaos back toward the South Range. His hands were shaking. Vance's eyes on him had felt like a predator sizing up prey. He reached the bunker, stumbled inside. Ava was already gearing up. Weapons, tactical vest, go bag. He knows something's wrong. He's going to start pulling threads. We've got maybe 6 hours before he finds one that leads back to us. What's the play? We go active. Stop waiting for him to make mistakes and force them. She pulled up a map on the laptop. Vance has a storage unit in El Paso, corporate rental under one of his shell companies. Alvarado gave us the location. If Vance is running, he'll stop there first. Grab his escape kit. Documents, cache, weapons. Ellison checked a pistol. We hit him there. Take him alive. Force him to give up the network. He won't give it up, Alvarado said from the corner. Vance would die first. He's true believer in his own mythology. Thinks he's above consequence. Then we provide consequences until he believes differently. Ava slung her rifle. Ben, you're staying here with Alvarado. Keep monitoring comms. If Vance activates a kill team, you warn us. I should be there. You should stay alive. Vance has your face now, your name. He's going to research you, find out you photographed that ledger connect dots. We can't let him connect. She met his eyes. Your job is to be the insurance policy. If we don't come back, you get Alvarado to federal custody, and you testify. You make sure 17 dead soldiers get justice, even if we're number 18, 19, and 20. Ben wanted to argue, wanted to be part of the takedown, but he saw the logic, saw the necessity. Okay. Ava nodded, turned to Ellison. Ready? Let's end this. They moved to the door. Ava paused, looked back at Ben. Your brother would be proud of you. What you did tonight, finding that evidence, trusting your gut, making hard choices, that's what got us here. That's what's going to bury Vance. Just come back alive to see it happen. She smiled. I've got a pretty good track record with that. Then they were gone, swallowed by the pre-dawn dark. Ben turned to the monitors. Watched Vance still working the crowd, playing the grieving commander. The man was a master. Every gesture perfect. Every word calibrated. But Ava was better. And in 90 minutes, Vance was going to find that out. In the worst possible way. The El Paso storage facility sat in an industrial zone where nobody asked questions. Ava and Ellison watched it from a stolen panel van 3 blocks out, waiting for Vance to make his move. He's taking his time, Ellison muttered, checking his watch. Sun's up in 40 minutes. He should have been here by now. He's careful, checking for tails, making sure the fire stuck. Ava adjusted the scope on her rifle, scanning entry points. He'll come. Men like Vance always run to their escape kits when things get hot. It's instinct. What if he smells the trap? Then we adapt. Her voice was flat, calm. But he won't. He thinks we're ash and bone. He thinks he's won. Ellison's phone buzzed. Text from Ben Bass, lockdown initiated. Vance ordered full investigation into Rourke's background. They're going through her gear, her personal effects, everything. Ava read it over his shoulder. Good. Let him dig. Everything in that barracks was manufactured. False trails leading nowhere. By the time he realizes it's smoke, we'll have him. And if he finds something we missed? We didn't miss anything. She said it with absolute certainty. I've been playing dead for 12 years. I know how to stay buried. 20 minutes crawled by. Then headlights swept the street. Black SUV, same one from the base. Vance alone this time. No security detail. Arrogant, Ellison breathed. Confident, Ava corrected. He's done this 100 times, thinks he's untouchable. She chambered around, slow and quiet. Let's teach him different. Vance parked, scanned the lot. Satisfied, he moved to Unit 247, punched a code, rolled up the door just enough to slip under. We move in 90 seconds, Ava said. He'll need time to access the safe gather materials. We hit him when his hands are full and his guard's down. They exited the van, moved through shadows. Ava's steps were silent. Ellison followed her lead, years of command falling away to basic operator instinct. They reached the unit. Door still cracked open. Inside, they heard metal scraping. A safe opening. Vance muttering to himself. Ava counted down on her fingers. 3, 2, 1. They flowed through the gap weapons up. Vance was kneeling by an open floor safe, hands full of passport booklets and cash bricks. He froze. "Don't move," Ava said. "Don't even breathe wrong." Vance's eyes went wide, then narrowed. Then he smiled. "Clever. Very clever. Drop what you're holding. Slow." He complied, setting the passports and money on the concrete. The fire was staged. The bodies were the assault element. "And you've been watching me this whole time." His voice held admiration. "Who sent you CIA, DIA, some black program I don't know about? Someone who's tired of watching soldiers die for your bank account." Ava moved closer, rifle never wavering. "On your knees, hands behind your head." Vance shifted to his knees. "You must be Rourke, the real Rourke, not the broken recruit with the taped boots. That was quite the performance." "Glad you enjoyed it. Now lace your fingers." He did, but his smile never faded. "You know, I almost believed it. The struggling trainee, the sabotaged equipment, the humiliation. You played it perfectly, but there were tells, little ones, the way you moved, the groupings you shot, that 773 breathing pattern." His eyes glittered. "That's not standard training. That's Tier 1. JSOC, maybe, or something even darker." "Keep talking," Ellison said, moving to flank. "Everything you say is being recorded. Everything you admit goes straight to federal prosecutors." "Federal prosecutors?" Vance laughed. "You think this ends in a courtroom? You think there's a trial coming?" He shook his head. "Colonel Ellison, I expected better from you. This isn't a legal problem. This is a political one, and political problems get solved with phone calls and closed-door meetings, not handcuffs." Ava zip-tied his wrists, tight enough to hurt. 17 dead graduates say different. 17 acceptable losses in a war that never ends. Vance's voice was calm, rational, insane. Those men and women died serving a purpose bigger than themselves. Their intelligence saved operations I can't even tell you about. Black budgets that keep this country safe, while people like you wring your hands about ethics. "You sold them," Ellison said. "For money. Don't dress it up like patriotism." "I sold their profiles to the highest bidder, yes. And those buyers in turn gave us intelligence on networks we could never penetrate otherwise. It's called Asset Management, Colonel. You should understand. You've been doing it your whole career." Ava pulled him to his feet. "We're done listening. You're coming with us. You're going to give up every name in your network, every handler, every buyer, every financial middleman. And then you're going to spend the rest of your life in a cell thinking about those 17 families." "Am I?" Vance's smile widened. "You sure about that?" Ava felt it then. The wrongness, the setup within the setup. Ellison checked the safe. The explosion was small, concussive, not meant to kill, just disorient. Flashbang hidden in the floor safe, rigged to a pressure sensor. Ava's vision whited out. Her ears screamed. She staggered. Vance was moving. Even zip-tied, he was moving. Forward, shoulder-checking Ellison, sending the colonel sprawling, then running for the door. Ava's training kicked through the disorientation. She fired blind, trusting muscle memory. Rounds sparked off concrete. Vance dove through the gap, rolled, came up running. "On me!" Ava shouted, chasing. They burst into the lot. Vance was sprinting for the SUV. Ava lined up the shot. "Center mass. Easy." But Ellison's voice stopped her. "Alive. We need him alive." She adjusted. Fired. The round took Vance in the back of the knee. He went down screaming, skidding across asphalt. They were on him in seconds. Ava kicked the leg wound. He screamed louder. "That's for Michael Reyes," she said, "and 16 others." Ellison hauled Vance up. Blood poured from the shattered knee. "You're done running." "Am I?" Vance's face was pain-twisted, but his eyes were still sharp. "You just assaulted a decorated colonel, shot me without provocation. Who's going to believe your story over mine? Everyone who listens to the recording." Ava held up her phone. "Every word you said in that unit, every admission, every sociopathic justification." For the first time, real fear flickered across Vance's face. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" She played back the audio, his voice clear as crystal. "I sold their profiles to the highest bidder, yes, and those buyers in turn gave us intelligence." Vance's face went gray. "That won't hold up. Illegally obtained. No warrant. No Miranda rights." "Don't need a warrant when you're legally dead," Ellison said. "Ghosts don't follow procedure. We're not arresting you, Vance. We're just stopping you." Ava zip-tied his ankles. "Here's how this plays. You give us the network. Every name, every location, every transaction. You do that, we get you medical attention, due process, a trial. You refuse, we leave you here bleeding and make one phone call to the people you've been selling to. Let them know you've been compromised, captured, likely to talk. How long you think you'd last?" Vance's breathing came in sharp gasps. The knee was bad. Bone fragments probably hitting nerves. He was going into shock. "You won't do that." "Try us." Ellison crouched down. "You killed 17 of my graduates. You sold them like livestock. You think I won't put a phone in your hand and dial the last number you called, watch them come for you while we drive away?" Silence. Just Vance's ragged breathing and distant traffic sounds. "There's a laptop," he said finally. "In the safe. Password is Kilo November 77 Tango Mike. Full network's on there. Names, accounts, protocols." Ava ran back to the unit, found the laptop, powered it up, entered the password. Files bloomed across the screen. Her breath caught. It wasn't just Red Mesa. It was everything. Ranger School SARE, Marine Scout, Sniper, SEAL Training, Delta Selection. Every elite program in the military, and each one had a handler. Names she recognized, senior NCOs, field-grade officers, people who'd built careers on trust and honor, selling it all for cryptocurrency and offshore accounts. "Jesus Christ," she whispered. She grabbed the laptop, ran back. "It's real. The whole network. He wasn't lying." Ellison's face was stone. "How many?" 12 handlers, across 8 training programs. Conservative estimate 200 soldiers sold. Maybe more. Ava looked at Vance. "How many are dead?" "I don't keep count of the casualties." Ava kicked the knee again. He screamed. "How many?" 63 confirmed. Could be more. "I told you I don't track." 63. Ellison's voice was hollow. 63 American soldiers. 63 acceptable losses for intelligence that saved thousands. You want to do the math, I have. The utilitarian calculus is clear. Vance's eyes were feverish. "You can't stop this. You can shut down my piece, but the concept works. Someone else will build it again. Someone always does." "Not if we burn it so hot nothing grows back." Ava pulled out her phone, called Ben. "We've got him, and we've got the network, all of it." Ben's voice crackled through. "Thank God. I thought when we heard the explosion, flash bang, we're fine. Vance isn't. Prep Alvarado for transport. We're bringing them both in together. Federal custody, military intelligence, whoever has the cleanest jurisdiction." "There's a problem." Ava's stomach dropped. "What problem?" "The base investigation found something in Rourke's gear. A bug. professional grade. They're saying it proves she was a plant. Vance's people are spinning it that she was a foreign intelligence operative, that the fire was her team trying to silence her, that Ellison and Alvarado died as collateral. That's insane. The bug was... Ava stopped. The bug was hers, planted in her own gear as a backup recording device. But she'd never activated it, never thought they'd find it during the investigation. They're calling it proof of espionage, Ben continued. They've locked down the base. MPs are sweeping for additional threats, and Vance's second-in-command just assumed control. He's pushing the foreign agent narrative hard. Ellison grabbed the phone. Who's the second-in-command? Lieutenant Colonel Marsh. He's ordering full counterintelligence protocols. Says until we know the scope of the infiltration, everyone's suspect. Marsh. Ellison's face went white. He's on the laptop. He's one of the handlers. The pieces fell into place with terrible clarity. Vance wasn't the top. He was never the top. He was the visible node, the one designed to be found if things went wrong. Marsh was the real power, the one who'd stay clean while Vance burned. And they'd just given him exactly the crisis he needed to consolidate control. Vance started laughing, blood-flecked, pain-racked, triumphant. You thought you had me. You thought this ended with me. He coughed. Marsh is already activating the contingency, the real one. Real. By noon, every handler will have scrubbed their trail. Every account will be emptied and closed. Every piece of evidence will be ash. His eyes were wild. And you'll be hunted. Not as heroes who uncovered corruption. As traitors who killed a colonel and fabricated evidence to cover it up. Ava's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Marsh's voice smooth as oil. Rourke, or whoever you really are, I'm impressed. You got further than anyone else we've sent. But you're done now. I've got 50 MPs with orders to shoot on sight. I've got federal agencies who believe you're a hostile operative. And I've got a very compelling story about how you manipulated Colonel Ellison, murdered Colonel Vance, and tried to destroy evidence of your infiltration. We have the laptop. We have everything. You have a laptop full of files that I'll claim were fabricated by foreign intelligence. Who's more credible? A decorated lieutenant colonel with 20 years of service, or a ghost who doesn't officially exist and a colonel who just went rogue? Marsh laughed. Here's what happens next. You surrender within 1 hour. You'll be detained, debriefed, and quietly disappeared. No trial, no publicity, just gone. Or you run, and we hunt you down like the terrorists you'll be labeled. Either way, the network survives. I survive. And those 63 dead soldiers stay buried under the lie that they died with honor. The evidence is already uploaded. Multiple servers, multiple contacts. You can't suppress them all. Can't I? I've got friends in every agency that matters. A senator's concern gets noted and filed. A journalist's story gets killed at the editorial level. A DOJ contact finds their evidence accidentally corrupted. His voice hardened. You're out of your depth. You've been out of your depth since the moment you stepped on that bus. The only question now is how many more people die before you accept it. The line went dead. Ava looked at Ellison, at Vance, bleeding on the concrete, at the laptop with 63 names that might never see justice. He's going to win, Ellison said. Marsh is going to bury this, and us with it. No, Ava's voice was ice. He's not. How do we stop him? He's got the base, the narrative, the institutional power. We stop playing his game. She pulled out the burner phone, the one that connected to her real chain of command, the one she'd been forbidden to use except in absolute emergency. I make one call. Bring in people Marsh can't touch. People who've been waiting for a chance to burn networks like this. Who? The kind who don't exist in any org chart, who operate outside every jurisdiction, who make problems disappear. She met his eyes. But if I make this call, it gets messy. Black Ops messy. The kind where bodies vanish, and official records say none of this ever happened. Marsh goes down, but so does any chance of public justice. Those families never know the truth. Ellison stared at her. And if you don't make the call, we're dead by sunset. Marsh wins, the network survives. Nothing changes. Vance laughed again, weaker now. Do it. Make your call. Bring your ghosts. It won't matter. You think Marsh is alone. You think this is just one network. There are 5 more just like this. 10. 20. Cut off one head, 3. Grow back. That's the system. That's what you're fighting. And the system always wins. Ava's finger hovered over the dial button. One call. The easy way out. The certain way. But the wrong way. She lowered the phone. No. Ellison stared. What? We do this right. Public, legal. Every family gets the truth. Every name gets exposed. Every handler faces a jury. She looked at the laptop. Marsh thinks we'll run or hide or bring in Black Ops to solve this quietly. He's wrong. He'll kill us before we get close to a courtroom. Then we make sure the evidence goes live before he gets the chance. Ava's mind raced. Ben still has access to the base network. Alvarado knows every handler's personal weaknesses, and we have this laptop with everything. She turned to Ellison. 1 hour, you said. Marsh gave us 1 hour to surrender. We don't need an hour. We need 30 minutes and a live stream. A live stream of everything. Us, Vance, the confession, the laptop files, all of it. Broadcast to every news organization, every congressional office, every military oversight committee simultaneously. Make it so public, so viral, so undeniable that Marsh can't spin it away. Her eyes were fire. He wants to control the narrative. We'll shove the truth down the world's throat so hard he chokes on it. Ellison's face shifted. Understanding. Then hope. That's insane. That's justice. She hauled Vance to his feet. He screamed. And this piece of garbage is going to confess every detail on camera. Aren't you, Colonel? Vance's face was pale. I won't. Ava pressed the muzzle of her pistol against his good knee. You will. Because the alternative is I put a round through this one, too. Then your elbows, then we leave you for Marsh's people to find. How you think that conversation goes? You crippled and useless, knowing too much, no longer profitable. She leaned close. Cooperate, you get a trial. Maybe even a deal. Refuse, you get a shallow grave and a name scrubbed from history. Choose. Vance's eyes darted between them. Calculating. Weighing. If I confess full immunity, witness protection. You get nothing but the truth on your gravestone instead of a lie. That's the deal. Take it or bleed. 30 seconds of silence. Then, fine, I'll talk. Ava looked at Ellison. Get Ben on the line. Tell him to prep the broadcast. We've got 28 minutes to burn down a kingdom. Ellison dialed. His hands were steady now. Purpose did that. Ben, it's me. Listen carefully. We're about to end this, but we need you to do something that's going to feel impossible. While he talked, Ava set up the camera, positioned Vance in frame, made sure the laptop was visible, every element that would make this undeniable. Vance watched her work. You know, if you'd joined us instead of fighting us, you'd be rich beyond measure. That skill set, that dedication, we could have used someone like you. I'm already rich, Ava said, in ways you'd never understand. Righteousness, honor. Those are luxuries for people who've never had to make impossible choices. I make impossible choices every day. I just make them differently than you. She checked the camera angle. And when this is over, when you're in a cell and those families finally know the truth, you'll understand the difference. between impossible choices that save lives and impossible choices that just save your bank account. Ellison hung up. Ben's ready. He's got backdoor access to the base PA system emergency broadcast protocols and a direct feed to 17 news agencies. Once we go live, it hits everything simultaneously. There's no stopping it. Ava nodded, looked at her watch. 26 minutes. Then let's make sure the next 26 minutes change everything. She hit record. The red light blinked on, and Colonel Grant Vance, bleeding and broken, started talking. State your name and rank for the record, Ava said. Vance's face was slick with sweat, knee bleeding through makeshift bandages, but his voice came out clear. Colonel Grant Vance, United States Army. Serial number. We don't need the serial number, we need the truth. Ava adjusted the camera. Tell them what you've been doing. All of it. Vance's eyes flicked to the laptop, to Ellison, holding a pistol steady on him to the red recording light that meant the world was about to watch. He licked his lips. For the past 4 years, I've been operating an intelligence-sharing network. We identified high-value graduates from elite military training programs, snipers, special operations, intelligence specialists, and sold their profiles to interested parties. Sold to who? Foreign intelligence services, private military contractors, anyone willing to pay market rate. His voice was flat, mechanical. Confession without remorse. The profiles included psychological assessments, tactical preferences, likely deployment zones, personal vulnerabilities. And what happened to those soldiers after you sold them? Vance's throat worked. Some were targeted for recruitment, some for blackmail. Some, he trailed off. Some were killed. Say it. Some were killed, ambushed using the intelligence we provided. Ava felt her finger tighten on the pistol grip. Forced herself to breathe. How many dead? 63 confirmed. Possibly more. The number hung in the air like smoke from a funeral pyre. 63 families destroyed. 63 flags folded. 63 lies told about honor and sacrifice. Who else was involved? Give us the network. Vance hesitated. Ellison cocked his pistol. The sound was very loud in the concrete space. Lieutenant Colonel David Marsh, currently acting commander at Fort Sentinel. He ran the financial infrastructure, cryptocurrency accounts, shell companies, money laundering. Vance's words came faster now, like poison purging from a wound. Major Sarah Chen at Ranger School, Captain Rodriguez at Sayre, Sergeant Major Williams at Marine Scout Sniper, Master Sergeant Blake at... Keep going, every name. He did. 12 names total. 12 people who'd taken oaths to protect and serve, who'd turned those oaths into profit margins. Ava's phone was recording backup audio. Ben was streaming it live. Every news agency, every congressional office, every oversight committee was watching this in real time. There was no stopping it now. Why? Ellison's voice cracked. Why betray everything we stand for? Because everything we stand for is a lie. Vance's eyes were feverish. You want the truth? The real truth. We send these kids into wars that never end for objectives that keep shifting under rules of engagement written by politicians who've never heard a shot fired in anger. And when they come home broken or dead, we give their families a flag and a speech about service. He laughed, bitter and broken. I just cut out the middle part. Sold them before they could be wasted on another pointless mission. At least my way their deaths meant something. Funded operations that actually accomplished objectives. They meant something to their families, Ava said. Her voice was quiet. Deadly. They meant something to the soldiers who served beside them. You didn't give them meaning. You stole it. Semantics. No, truth. She leaned into frame, made sure her face was visible. My name is Ava Rourke. I'm a federal operative embedded to investigate military corruption. Everything you just heard is legally obtained testimony. Everything on this laptop, she held it up, is admissible evidence. And if you're watching this, if you're one of the 12 names he just said know this, we're coming for you. Not with black ops, not with quiet disappearances, with warrants and trials and public testimony. You're going to face every family you destroyed, and you're going to answer for it. Vance's laugh was ragged. You think Marsh is just going to let this happen? He's got resources you can't imagine. By the time you finish this broadcast, he'll have a kill team en route. You'll be dead before you take 3 steps outside this building. Then we'd better make these last few minutes count. Ava turned back to the camera. If you're watching this, and you've lost someone, a son, a daughter, a brother, a sister, to what you thought was combat, check the list. We're uploading the names of all 63 confirmed casualties to a secure federal site. If your loved one is on that list, they didn't die in fair combat. They were murdered, sold out by the people who were supposed to protect them. Her voice hardened. And to the families of Michael Reyes, Sarah Chen, David Okonkwo, and the 14 others from Red Mesa, your children were the best we had. They deserved better than this. They deserved the truth. Now you have it. She checked her watch. 19 minutes left before Marsh's deadline. Ellison, anything to add? The colonel stepped into frame. His face was carved from stone. I'm Colonel James Ellison, former commander of Red Mesa Sniper School. I failed these soldiers. I didn't see the corruption in my own ranks. Didn't stop it when I should have. That failure will haunt me until I die. He paused, gathering himself. But I won't fail them again. Every name on that list will be investigated. Every handler will be prosecuted. And every family will know the truth. That's my oath. On the lives of the 17 I lost. In the bunker, 300 miles away, Ben watched the live stream with Alvarado beside him. His hands were shaking. On the screen, Ava was destroying a network that had killed his brother, was giving Michael's death meaning beyond the lies. We need to move, Alvarado said. His voice was hollow. Marsh will have traced the broadcast origin by now. He'll send people here. Let him send them. Ben's jaw was set. They'll be walking into a federal response. I made some calls while you were watching. Real ones. To people who can't be bought or scared off. Who? Senator Morrison's office. The one whose son died in Afghanistan 3 years ago. Ambushed. Ben's eyes never left the screen. Turns out his son's name is on that list. He's been waiting for proof. We just gave it to him. Alvarado's face went white. Morrison chairs the Armed Services Committee. He can do everything. Subpoenas, investigations, public hearings. Ben smiled without humor. And he's already activated it. I just got confirmation. Federal marshals are being dispatched to Fort Sentinel. They'll be there in 40 minutes. Marsh won't wait 40 minutes. Then we hold for 40 minutes. Ben checked his weapon. However long Ava and Ellison need, we give them. On screen, Ava was wrapping up. This broadcast will be archived on 17 separate servers. Copies are being delivered to federal authorities, congressional oversight committees, and media organizations as we speak. You can't bury this. You can't spin it. The truth is out. She looked directly into the camera. And to the handlers watching this, the 12 names Colonel Vance just gave up. You have one choice. Surrender to federal authorities within 24 hours or spend the rest of your lives running from both the law and the people you betrayed. Because they're coming for you. And they won't stop. She reached forward. The camera clicked off. Ellison sagged against the wall. It's done. First part's done. Ava was already moving gathering gear. Now we survive long enough to see it through. Marsh isn't going to fold. He's going to fight. With what? We just burned his entire network on live television. With desperation, the most dangerous weapon there is. She slung her rifle. He's got 17 minutes before federal marshals arrive. That's enough time to send a team stage an accident, make it look like we died resisting arrest. Twist the narrative one last time. Vance laughed from the floor, pain-racked and bitter. You don't know, Marsh. He's already 10 steps ahead. Already has a counter-move planned. You think this ends with his arrest, with a trial? He coughed blood. This ends with you dead, and him retired to some beach where extradition doesn't reach. Then I guess we'd better move faster than he can plan. Ava hauled Vance up. He screamed. You're coming with us. Human shield and star witness all in one bleeding package. They moved out into the El Paso dawn. The industrial zone was waking up early shifts delivery trucks, the noise of commerce. Perfect cover. Ava commandeered a pickup truck from the lot keys in the ignition owner, nowhere in sight. They threw Vance in the bed, Ellison rode shotgun, and Ava drove. Where are we going? Ellison asked. Federal building downtown, public, cameras, witnesses. Marsh can't hit us there without exposing himself. She took a corner fast. We walk in with Vance, demand protective custody, wait for the marshals. That's 14 minutes of exposure. 14 minutes, where we're moving targets in a city full of civilians. Marsh is careful, calculated. He won't risk collateral damage in broad daylight. She glanced at him. Probably. Probably. He's also desperate. Desperate does stupid things. So we stay alert, and we don't stop moving until we're in federal custody. Behind them, Vance was bleeding steadily, leaving a trail in the truck bed. Ava caught Ellison looking back. He's not going to make it to trial at this rate. He makes it long enough to be processed, long enough for his testimony to be official record. Her voice was cold. After that, I don't particularly care what happens to him. That's not justice due process. Ava's hands were white on the wheel. 63 dead soldiers, Colonel. 63 families destroyed. Vance gets to live long enough to face them in court. Anything beyond that is mercy he doesn't deserve. Ellison was quiet for a moment. Then, your real name isn't Rourke, is it? No. What is it? Doesn't matter. After today, Rourke dies anyway. I'll get a new legend, new mission. This is what I do appear, burn down the corrupt, disappear. She took another turn. The federal building was 6 blocks out. You'll probably never see me again after we walk through those doors. The families will want to thank you. The families will want answers. Closure, justice. That's what you give them. The truth about how their loved ones died. The prosecutions of everyone involved. The reforms to make sure it never happens again. She pulled into the federal building lot. That's the real work. I'm just the match that started the fire. They parked. Hauled Vance out. He could barely stand. Ellison supported him on one side, Ava on the other. 12 minutes, she said. Let's move. They walked toward the entrance. Federal building security was already responding to the broadcast agents in tactical gear protocols, activating a facility locking down for exactly this kind of situation. Ava called out, "Federal operative with a hostile prisoner. We need immediate protective custody and medical attention." Agents swarmed them, weapons drawn, commands shouted. The chaos of a system responding to a threat it didn't fully understand yet. "On the ground, all of you." Ava complied, hands, visible movements slow. "We're not the threat, he is." She nodded at Vance. "Colonel Grant Vance, U.S. Army, wanted for espionage conspiracy and accessory to the murder of 63 American soldiers. You've seen the broadcast. We're here to surrender him into federal custody." The senior agent, gray-haired, hard-eyed, seen-it-all face lowered his weapon slightly. "You're the one who made the broadcast." "Rourke," "That's me. Stay down. Don't move." He spoke into his radio. "Get me confirmation from DC. I need to know if this is legitimate or the most elaborate fake I've ever seen." They waited. Seconds stretched. Ava counted heartbeats, watching angles, checking for threats. If Marsh was going to make a play, it would be now. Last chance to silence them before federal protection locked in. But the streets stayed clear. No shooters. No last-second attack. The agent's radio crackled. He listened. His face changed. "Confirmed legitimate. Federal marshals en route ETA 8 minutes. We're to secure all 3 subjects and wait for handover." He looked at Ava. "You're in a lot of trouble, all of you." "I know, but I'm in trouble with the right people now, not the wrong ones." They were zip-tied, separated, placed in different holding rooms. Standard protocol. Ava sat on a metal bench, hands bound, and felt the weight of 6 days lift. The operation was done. The network was burning. The truth was out. Now came the hard part, the investigations, the trials, the slow grind of justice. But at least it was grinding in the right direction. 8 minutes later, federal marshals arrived. 3 vehicles. Serious faces. One of them unlocked Ava's holding room. "You're Rourke, among other names. Come with us. You've got a long debrief ahead." She stood, followed. As they walked through the federal building, she saw Ellison being led out separately. Their eyes met for a moment. He nodded. She nodded back. No words needed. They'd done what they came to do. In another room, Vance was being loaded onto a gurney medical team working to stabilize him. He'd live. Long enough to face trial. Long enough to see every handler brought down. That would have to be enough. The marshals put Ava in an armored vehicle. Drove. She didn't ask where. It didn't matter. Wherever she was going, it was part of the process now. The system taking over. Her part was done. 3 hours later, she sat in a secure debrief room. Across from her, a woman in a dark suit, DOJ credentials, and eyes that had seen worse things than Ava could imagine. "Let's start at the beginning," the woman said. "Who are you really?" "I'm the person who just handed you the biggest military corruption case in a decade. That's all that matters." "It matters to me." Ava smiled. "Then I guess you'll have to keep wondering." The debriefs lasted 3 days. Ava gave them everything, every detail, every piece of evidence, every thread they'd need to pull to unravel the entire network. She held back nothing except her real identity. That was her line. Cross it, and she'd walk consequences be damned. They didn't push. The evidence was too good. The case too solid. On the 4th day, she was released. Not free, exactly. More like repurposed. New assignment. New mission. Same game, different board. She walked out of the federal building into DC sunlight. Ben was waiting on the steps. "Thought you'd ghost without saying goodbye," he said. "I should have. Goodbyes are dangerous in this work." Michael's name was cleared, officially. The Army issued a statement. Ambushed due to intelligence breach, not equipment failure. My family finally knows the truth. His voice cracked. "Thank you. You're the one who found the ledger. You started this. You finished it." He held out a hand. "Whatever your real name is, wherever you go next, thank you." She shook his hand, held it for a moment. "Take care of Lena. She's got the talent to be something special. Make sure the new command structure doesn't waste it." "I will." He paused. What happens to you now? What always happens. I disappear. Find the next corrupt network. Burn it down. Repeat. She let go of his hand. It's what I'm good at. Sounds lonely. It is. But 63 families have closure now. That's worth a little loneliness. She walked away. Didn't look back. 3 blocks later, she got in a car with no plates and a driver who didn't ask questions. By sunset, she was on a plane to somewhere that didn't exist on any official map. Behind her, the trials began. 12 handlers arrested. Vance in maximum security singing to reduce his sentence. Marsh found dead in his quarters, apparent suicide, though the angle of the gunshot wound suggested otherwise. Justice delivered one way or another. The families got their answers. The soldiers got their honor back. The system got a wake-up call that lasted exactly 6 months before new corruption started growing in different soil. But for those 6 months, for those 63 families, for the recruits at Red Mesa who learned that integrity mattered more than ego, the world was a little more just. And somewhere in the dark places where operators like Ava hunted another network was being mapped. Another corruption identified. Another mission planned. Because some people disappeared into the shadows to hide, and some people disappeared into the shadows to hunt. Ava Rourke, or whatever name she wore now, was the latter. 6 months later, at Red Mesa Sniper School, a new class of recruits arrived. Among them a quiet woman with worn gear and a calm that made the loudmouths nervous. She didn't talk much, moved like she'd done this before, breathed in a rhythm that sounded almost familiar. The instructors watched her with suspicion. The other recruits with contempt. They called her weak, called her a washout waiting to happen. She let them. She smiled that small, sad smile. And she waited. Because somewhere out there, corruption was growing again. And someone needed to be close enough to burn it down when the time came. Some lessons apparently needed to be taught more than once. And Ava, or whatever ghost wore her legend now, was a very patient teacher. The quietest person in the room is often the most dangerous. Fort Sentinel learned that once. Somewhere another base was about to learn it too. The war against corruption never ended, but it had found its most relentless soldier, one who didn't need recognition, didn't want glory, and refused to stop until the system remembered what integrity meant. 63 families had their truth, and somewhere in the machinery of justice, her fingerprints remained invisible but indelible, the ghost who turned mockery into memorial, humiliation into honor, and made damn sure that when soldiers died, it would be for something real.